Ghana is a Christian nation. Statistically, the population is about 71% Christian. And if you walk through the street of Accra, you will see billboards of churches, billboards of pastors. There are many churches here in Ghana. People express their religious views and their faith in a very unique way.
Ghana is really the kind of main hub nation within the surrounding nations of West Africa. It does really feel like an absolutely strategic global city.
And the universities happen to be the place where minds are formed, ideas are formed, where people actually go into the world to make a difference. And so we think that the university is a strategic position, a place to have people engage with the truth of the gospel.
So what we have here this week is a series of talks on the burning questions that Ghanaians have. But we've been praying for people who would be able to come and actually speak in a context-sensitive way, but also in a way that actually calls people to follow Christ, tells the gospel story, because that's what we're about.
Having had the opportunity to work with the team was exciting, and being given a task for the first time and to do it in Ghana, for me, it was mind-blowing.
The thing that's really excited me about what we've seen so far has been the engagement of the people themselves, the students who are coming to these talks. We're seeing students who are actually interested in the content. They're scribbling notes, they're asking questions, they're very, very engaged. They're not wanting to move anywhere, they're wanting to stay for the entire event.
One of the things that has stood out for me particularly is the depth of the questions that have been asked so far. I could tell that there's been a lot of engagement with the issues that have been presented during the talks because of the questions that follow after the talks.
And one of the questions that was asked last night actually put everything into perspective really well. He said, we have all these systems all over Africa where people don't suffer from not believing in God, they suffer from believing in God too much. And I think that was a very insightful thing to say, because those outside the faith are looking at those inside the faith, and they're looking at people that are not really using their minds to serve God. And so this question I was saying, when we look at you guys in the faith, what we see is a lack of reason. And I had to agree with that. And I had to say that that's an aberration from what we're supposed to be doing as followers of Christ. So using our minds should not be something that is optional for us, because it's commanded.
How can you confirm that God exists? And then there are some contradictions in the Bible.
Can't I just have sex and then get away with it? If you think our God exists, why do we still face certain challenges?
Sometimes we have other religions acting more Christian than we Christians are. And sometimes I ask myself why. It doesn't make sense.
Those questions are fairly unique actually for this campus as well. As we've been speaking to the young people, they're saying this is the question we want answered.
And so you realize that these are students with longings, with deeper questions, and the questions are well phrased because you know that they are well thought through questions that have been with them for so long, and they are getting to meet God and answer these questions. And I think it's beautiful.
So for me, it has been an eye-opener about the need to engage others, the need to talk, the need to be well-versed in my faith, to be able to answer.
We're here to face difficult questions and give thoughtful answers.
We've had students ask about, the OCA online modules, how they can learn and become, effective.
There is a hunger for questions, to have a critical relationship with their faith, which is countercultural when it comes to the older generation, who again love their faith, but were taught not to ask questions, so they see it as something that is strange.
And the churches here and many of the university lecturers who are part of this as well are saying we really, really now need to be equipped to answer questions that we didn't even really ask.
Here we have a mile wide of faith and an inch deep. What apologetics does for us is that it underpins our faith and it deepens it.
My hope and prayer is that Ghanaians will live out their faith and not just have a faith by confession. It will be a confession that is actually seen, not just in what you say, but in what you do as well.
The gospel must go forth to every corner of this campus and every part of this nation, that the beauty of Jesus will be seen and his name will be glorified and exalted.